Welcome, traveler.
Hello.
Welcome to Scrub Mode, the podcast that sits at the intersection of gaming and monsters. You found it. You found it. You found
You're
us. You made
crazy.
it. Thank you so much.
How did you get here?
Oh man, it's me and my buddy Ryan here today. Usually
How
we
you
have a
doing?
third, but
We usually have John, but
Usually
he's
have
currently
John.
on vacation, so we're kind of holding down the fort
yeah,
for today.
yeah. So it's just us today.
Excuse me while I take a bite of this donut.
Oh, eat the donut. I wish I had a donut. I want food. I'm hungry. I'm like, we record this right around dinner time for most people, so usually we've either eaten or
So by
have
the end of it, we're mad
yet
hungry.
to eat. So, there's a little bit of a behind the scenes.
The post audio is just us being like, I'm hungry, I'm leaving. It is the quickest out of the studio situation you would ever get.
Yeah. But welcome. Today we're going to be talking about some video games. Video games we like to play, video games we have played. Video games you love.
Yeah,
video games
it's
you
an
might hate.
easygoing episode today.
Yeah. So we're just gonna chill and just talk, I guess. So, I mean, welcome to podcasting.
Ain't no shame in that.
Yeah. So hope get yourself in a nice good mood. If you're driving, concentrate, please.
We hope that we're just noise in the background to help you kind of get through the freeway morning, night.
Yeah.
To
Lord knows
from
I need
work.
my podcast when I'm on my commute. So yes.
Just a quick aside, what's your go-to podcast when you're going to or from work?
Lately, you want to know?
Yeah.
It's freaking ear biscuits.
With,
I freaking love Red Link.
Yeah.
They're so fun. I think
they're very wholesome dudes.
They're so wholesome. They've got a fascinating podcast that they do ear biscuits. But yeah, that's my go-to.
Nice. I enjoy listening to the Columbo podcast.
There's a Columbo podcast.
Yeah, it's
Of course
so
there is.
it's really funny because I got into Columbo
Hold on a second.
like a year ago.
Let me just do something. Just gotta step away from the mic for that one. Okay, let's go.
Step away from the mic so you can breathe.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you have
And
to
then
you
go
have to
back into
sneeze. Okay, we're back.
No, I just wanted to give a little dead air before coming back into it, just so
Appreciate it.
a little easier to edit it in.
Yeah. Okay. Where were we?
So I started watching Columbo.
Right, Columbo.
About a few years ago. I finally got around to finishing it. An incredibly fun show. They are, if you don't know, they're like not a set, but their episodes are TV movies. They're around an hour and a half long. And they follow our favorite bumbling detective as he figures out the murder. But he kind of knows what's going on. It's weird. He's very ethereal in that sense. But yeah, so the podcast I like to listen to is called the Columbo podcast. It has two guys from, I think it's North Ireland or something. But one of them is a guy who's never watched Columbo, and he's he's like a law, gone through the bar exam kind of guy. I think he's like a lawyer, or an attorney. And then the other one is just a big fan of Columbo, and they go through, they recap the episode. They go through some of their criticisms of what was weird in the episode, and they also bring up small facts of where actors have shown up or what connections they have to other shows. Surprisingly, there's a lot of actors in that show that also showed up in like Star Trek a bunch.
That figures. It's around that
Yeah.
era, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, like the biggest ones were Leonard Nimoy and uh, 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 William Shatner. They
They were
showed up
both on
in the show as
Columbo.
well. Yeah, they were both on Columbo. William
Wow,
Shatner, I believe, twice, um, and Leonard Nimoy once.
that's
Uh,
cool.
but yeah, great show,
Wow,
and that podcast
wow.
is fun to listen to. I mean, it's just it was just comfortable listening to two Irish accents talk about Columbo.
That's funny.
Um,
Oh
but let's
man,
move on to our actual
man.
subject of
Yeah,
the
we're
day,
talking video
which is
games, and
games.
one of my dreams is to make a video game.
Of
One of our
course,
dreams
same.
is to make a video game,
Yeah,
right? And like, I was
we've
thinking of
talked about
like,
it since high school.
yeah, for real. And like, the video game that I want to make is so. It's like it's funny. I don't really even think of like what the story is going to be or that kind of thing yet. You know, I mean, there will be characters in the obviously the NPCs with backstories. How much of the backstory you guys get to learn is like should be up to you, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know, like Dark Souls esque. You know,
Hmm.
I like the way Dark Souls handled storytelling.
Handles giving out bits and pieces as you
Yeah, and like item descriptions and stuff like that.
yeah, as you search and pick
Yeah,
up.
yeah. I had this idea for the game where like you get a backpack and you can have multiple backpacks and each backpack you
Mm,
can put different stuff inside. And you get home and you just have a closet you can put all your backpacks in there.
Just a closet of backpacks.
Yeah, with and it can be up to you how many backpacks you want.
Hmm. This one has a cup on the side, so I
Yeah,
can put my
exactly.
has a
Yeah,
cup holder on it.
yeah. I put my
Lets me
water
hold my
bottle in
drinks.
there. That's an inventory item.
This one has a holster for
Yeah,
staves or swords,
exactly.
so
That'd
I
be
have
cool.
quick access on my backpack.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe that would be the way that we do the inventory system in the game. What do you think?
Hmm. I think that's fine.
That works? Yeah.
I mean, your previous idea was a pocket system, so
Yeah, it's going to be like that too. That's going to be in there too.
a lot of like
Like, yeah,
integrated inventory.
yeah, exactly.
What's it called?
Customization, I guess.
No, there's that word for it. Um, that likes to get thrown around a bit, but it's a term that refers to uh, interface elements
Oh,
that are present within the world rather than like a separate menu.
right.
Um, diegetic. That's the word.
Diegetic. Wow, that's a.
Yeah.
It's
So yeah, it's yeah. It means that like it's it's part of the world rather than just like, oh, I press start and
yeah,
yeah, a thing comes up.
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah, and
it's
like
something that gets you a little bit more uh,
right.
part. Oh, the word I used was for audio,
Oh,
but
oops.
yeah, the word I used was for audio. My bad. But that's also kind of something that's like part of game design, right? Like when you hear background music
Yeah, it's
and
like
like
in the
it's coming in
world.
super clear,
Is
right?
it like part of the
That's
world, or is it part of the?
yeah, like if it's a
Yeah,
diegetic audio, it's part of the world. So
I
like
see.
if you're listening, like if you hear something and it's very faint, and then as you get closer, it gets louder, and then you
Right,
find the source. That's a diegetic uh, source of audio.
makes
But if
sense.
it's just like a soundtrack that's like playing,
I see.
then yeah, it kind of like in the ending of like Super Mario Odyssey, where you're fighting Bowser and that whole
Yeah,
song starts playing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's just a soundtrack.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, there's no spoilers there. You always fight Bowser anyway, so it's
All
like
right.
I don't
So
know
at this,
anybody who hasn't played Odyssey yet, but there's some people who probably don't like the Switch.
I mean, eh.
Yeah. uh,
I've neglected my Switch. I mean, I've played a lot of Breath of the Wild. I haven't played the sequel at all.
oh, I guess diegetic could be used for physical items as well.
Ah,
Never
cool.
mind. It's just a phrase that, it's the English language. It's just
I,
something that they made flexible
I
because
see.
they're
Makes
just like,
sense.
well, this word makes sense for this. Might as well make it make sense for this as well.
I see. It's like for anything in the game. Like
Yeah,
it should be like part of the world of the game, I think.
yeah.
But yeah,
I do. I do like those.
or
I do like those things a lot better in video
yeah.
games.
Mhm.
Um, like with what do you call it? Like with Bioshock, a lot of its interfaces were diegetic, other than like switching around your plasmids. Like if you wanted to buy ammo, you had to go to the
Yeah.
vendors.
Yeah.
The the one that's like Vita Vito.
Yeah.
um,
You know what I really want in the game, Brian?
what?
Is like item crafting and customization so much.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
But
item
I'm like,
crafting is fun.
it is. I think we could come up with some really jank shit.
I feel like item crafting um, often gets like a bad rap for no reason.
Yeah,
Uh, I mean, like some people, right? Like during the after the age of Minecraft came around,
right.
like there was a crafting system, survival system, and
Right.
then like a lot of people jumped on that. On those gameplay elements, those concepts, and they kind of like threw them into every game almost for like a while.
Yeah,
There are
that's
some games
true.
that didn't, but uh,
Skyrim. Oh
yeah,
man.
like a lot of games started implementing like a self crafting inventory
Is
system.
there was there one in RuneScape too? Did
I
RuneScape
don't
have item
think so.
crafting? Yeah.
I think there's just like there's crafting, but in the sense of like, oh, you go to specialized folks and then they make stuff for you.
I
Not so
see.
much like, oh, you make stuff for yourself,
I see.
like in Minecraft, yeah.
Right. Or in Skyrim.
Yeah, or in
Skyrim, you
Skyrim.
kind of made it yourself, but you could go to a blacksmith and make it yourself.
Yeah.
But then you could
I,
be
I,
the
I
blacksmith.
think mostly what they had issues with um, were just the self crafting elements that like kind of permeated through a lot of games for a while.
Hmm.
I mean, like you see it in. I mean, it's even gone to Elden Ring at this point, right? Like you have the crafting kit in Elden Ring. As
Yeah.
long as you picked up the materials, you can make the stuff that you would usually buy from merchants. So you can
Right.
make arrows out of bones.
Yeah.
You can make the grease that you'd apply to your weapons to give them elemental properties.
Yeah.
You can even craft like antidotes against certain debuffs.
Yeah.
But like again, even in the example of Elden Ring, like the crafting kit situation, while incredibly useful, right? I feel like
Do you
I
think you kind of
hadn't
broke the
used it
game?
at all. Not even broke the
I mean,
game. It's
you
just
just
that
kind of you would go to the merchants and buy stuff instead.
yeah, I would either go to a merchant to buy something because like in FromSoft games, that's usually how you went and got your items. You either hoarded everything that you picked up from like places you've been to, and
Yeah.
then that's like your inventory
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
then and forever. Or you go to a merchant and you're like, I need to buy like 6,000 of these moss clumps so that I can survive the poison swamp that's like ahead of me.
Hmm.
But in Elden Ring though, like it's incredibly useful. Uh the only gate there is going to find the items that you need to uh craft your materials. I
Right.
mean craft your item with. Um and if you haven't just been like walking around slamming the Y button to pick up everything from a bush or from like animals you've killed. It's gonna take a long time to like get the necessary inventory to build the stuff that you want. Uh, so it's like it's an incredibly useful element in Elden Ring. You can build some incredibly useful like items, right?
Right.
And by the way, if you couldn't tell, I played a lot of Elden Ring, but um, you get cookbooks that expand your even your crafting repertoire,
That's so funny.
and I guess
I
this is
remember
like,
as soon as you started being able to craft it like Animal Crossing too, I thought it was
oh
like
yeah,
I thought I was like, whoa.
you're like, whoa, this is crazy. But yeah, I mean like four, and I mean the original topic that we were on was that uh inventory like crafting systems have been kind of looked down upon, but you know, like same thing, using Elden Ring as like an example and like a counterpoint. It's like while it is kind of strange to just have the ability to make stuff on the go, and like the the steps or the time that you need to take to be able to craft those things in general will take a little bit to pick up some of the items, especially for some of the more important or more useful items. Um, like when you integrate it into your gameplay, like it makes everything that much more easier or that much more like approachable, right? Because everything in the game can kill you super hard if you're not careful. But hey, I have a set of items that I can craft some buffs with. So what if I just slap in some of this crab meat and then some of the spices that I picked up from a bush, and oh, I got a buff that can give me 15% more damage for a minute. you know? Like it's really cool. It's really nice to have in your back pocket, but the entire first time I played through the game, I completely forgot about it. I was like, I haven't used a single thing. Like even your throwing pots from previous games is all something that you just craft. You can't buy throwing pots from anybody.
Oh, so you
You
have to
just
craft
craft.
them
Yeah.
if you want
It's
to use
because
them.
the
You have to
pots that
craft
you get are like regenerative pots.
them.
So
Oh,
you can, once you throw them and they break, they'll just reassemble in your inventory pocket, and then you can just recraft a new type of throwing pot.
that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting system that has removed the issue of like, oh, like fire bombs were super useful for me in like Dark Souls 2. But like I hated going to a merchant to buy like 99 of them every time, you know, kind of deal. But now I have like 20 pots that regenerate forever in my back pocket, and then I can make the pots that I need to blow someone up.
I see. I see. That's funny.
Yeah, I think everyone's concept of a crafting, everyone's issues with the crafting system was that they saw too much of it at a time without it adding anything significant. But if you really just make it something that is incredibly useful for your game, I don't think anybody has a reason to hate a
Yeah.
crafting system.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
That's the
for me,
end of
it's like
my TED Talk.
it all boils down to like I want to be able to kind of express myself in the game. Like
Yeah.
customize a character. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah,
I
same.
love being able to
I
do
think
that.
I think one thing I've always wanted to see from a crafting system was like the ability to kind of shape the thing that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So like when it came to things uh like games that involve blacksmithing, right? And something
Hmm.
that you can do on your own.
Hmm.
I get it. I understand why the problem with having something that customizable would be like a problem for a game. It's because like you wouldn't know what people would make or whatever.
Right.
Or like the engine just can't simply support it, or like it would just take too much time to code and implement something uh incredibly complex. But like it always bothered me. It's like, oh, here's 3 bars of gold and here's like wood and leather, and then you make a sword that always looks the same, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That always looks the same, or has like a preset design.
Right.
So like the
I
thing
would
that I've
love it.
always
I would
loved
love
would
like you could if you had like bronze, the blade would be bronze. If you had like steel, it would be like silver. If
yeah
it were like it could be like some kind of nebulous like magical metal that's like black or like or white.
yeah.
It could be so many things.
But I
I
mean
guess
like
that one
for
should
me
be
though,
hard to code. I guess.
I mean
It,
it would be
it,
pretty difficult to like implement. But I mean
yeah.
like just something that involved like a modeling system that could be like, oh yeah, you could kind of morph this block into a shape that you want your sword to look like, rather than always forge the same looking sword.
Maybe, or
But
maybe
it,
there's like a bunch of options you could choose from.
I mean, that's
You
also
know,
good too.
where
I mean,
like,
like, so
yeah,
one game that I played for a little bit, um, that is unfortunately has like, uh, kind of lost its like monetary support.
oh no,
Um, but it was still very fun when I played it. It was a VR game called A Township Tale. It was a small, like, not small, but it was like a community type RPG VR game where
oh,
you play a villager that shows up, and then there are various uh, locations in the town that serve to uh, provide your utilities. So there is a there is a building that you go into to uh, to do carpentry. You put bless
excuse
you.
me.
There's a building. There's a building with that provides you the ability to do carpentry, so that you can carve out either uh, like sword handles or parts to make for a backpack, or parts to make for any other tool that you may need in your adventuring set. And then there's a blacksmith. There's a forge area that has a smelting unit that you throw ores that you've mined on your adventure, and then you can use a template from like 40 different blade templates that you can change that metal into a blade. So they have like katana blades, long sword blades, great sword blades, curved blades, things like that. And then you can use the ores that you've mined, throw them into the smelter, and they provide you with that. And then you throw that uh, into a forge so that you can heat it up and hammer it. And it's like it's it's simple, but a lot more interesting to build your weapon to, personalize how you want to look like when you go back into the mines to fight enemies, or go out into the world to fight treants or anything like that. It was very cool. Like, again, like, and what's really cool is that it's communal. So when you pick up these items, right, these templates for blades, you bring them back to the forge, and everyone there can use it. They
That's
can.
cool.
You've unlocked like a new thing for everybody within the town to uh uh individualize themselves.
That's cool.
It was very cool. It was very cool. I thought that was like super nice that they did, because it's like, oh, I've been walking around with this short sword blade with this basic handguard for a while. Like, I want to forge something new, and oh, someone brought a new katana template. So I can now make a katana and fuse several ores like silver and copper to make a new weird metal. It's like they did that too. Like one of the things that you were talking about. Like they did some really cool stuff in there, because you can find different ore types, right?
Hmm.
And then you can throw those ore types into the smelter, and they'll fuse the metals together into a stronger metal with a different color and like an effect on it.
Is there a like, speaking of VR, is there a mech piloting VR game yet?
Yeah,
Is it?
I think there's been like two or three that's been really like significant in terms
Yeah.
of yeah mech VR games.
Oh, man.
Uh,
Do you think they'll
I
ever
forgot.
make a new Steel Battalion?
I don't know if they'll ever make a new Steel Battalion. Steel Battalion was incredibly cool, and
Yeah.
let's be clear, the original Steel Battalion on the Xbox was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That thing had a whole controller that was crazy cool.
Yeah.
It had pedals to
It,
move your
it
mech
had
forward.
it had two joysticks with like
Yeah,
five buttons on each one. How many buttons on each joy?
it was two joysticks with like three buttons, like the triggers for your main weapons, the button on the left to turn to do like
There was a
missiles, and then the button on the
self-destruct
right.
button.
Like they were for shoulder weapons. It was super
Yeah.
cool. And then the board itself, the command board had several more buttons. Like there was a lever to push forward to make it
Yeah.
so that like you had to flip the switches on the board to turn on your mech, right?
Yeah.
And if you like ended up dying, you had to switch those down and then switch them back up to reactivate your new mech.
Wow. Just
And then
imagine.
they had a eject button in
Yeah.
case you didn't want to die
Yeah. Yeah.
because your character, your pilot that you have in there could die.
Yeah.
Uh, it was a very cool game.
It was
Not
so,
the one for the Kinect though. That was a piece of dog shit.
that one's the bad
Yeah.
game.
The Kinect version was like it was a terrible
It
like
wasn't ready.
it was it one it
It was,
wasn't ready, and two it was a terrible like it was a terrible midway between like full VR and like analog controller.
yeah. It was
I
bad.
feel like if a Steel Battalion game came out today in VR, it would still be a little jank, but it would be a lot cooler
It'd be pretty.
because like
Yeah.
you could simulate all of like the original
The
controllers
controller.
like board options,
Yeah.
but you can do you'd be much more immersed because everything you'd see around you is like insane, like oh
Yeah.
oh fuck.
Yeah.
But the Kinect version was just all like I'm in the
you know what I
Kinect.
want? I want a Gundam game where it's like your PO you're seeing from the POV of the Gundam and the Gundam punches when you punch. You
Oh
know?
yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be
That would be cool.
yeah.
Someone in Japan was doing like a little. They made like a tiny demo of like being a pilot in a Gundam.
Ooh.
It was pretty high speed and it was really cool, but like there's not a lot of assets in it. So like all you got was just the UI targeting system,
Mm.
but like everything was pretty cool. It had all the sounds too, all like the
That or Zoids.
oh a Zoids game in VR would be sick.
That'd be pretty cool.
A Zoids game in VR would be amazing.
That'd be so good. I'd play the shit
I
out of that.
want to command the Liger Zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knew a show about an anime about giant robot animals get into super fights would
Yeah.
be so cool.
Oh man. This guy did. I did. I don't know
I
if
mean,
it holds
I
up.
really
I don't know if it holds up. I haven't rewatched it or anything. But
it's weird because it's like I really enjoyed the original Zoids, right? The one where with Liger Zero where
yeah, the
it
one
was just
where
like
it's
a big
a sport, right?
yeah
There was
a
also
big,
the other one
like a
where
big tournament.
there was like war with the Zoids.
Yeah, there was the other version. Sorry if that made noise. I hit my table with my leg. But yeah, there was the second series. I wouldn't even call it like a second season. It was like a separate series, but it
Yeah.
was yeah, there was like a war going on, and it involved a girl who was reawakened from like deep slumber who had like a key to do something,
Right.
and then there was like that smaller Zoid that was like a raptor,
Yeah. It was like a
and
dinosaur.
like I think yeah, and I
It was
think
a
it
little
like
dinosaur, a
hid
little Allosaurus looking guy.
yeah, it could
You-
hide like it could hide the girl inside of its body or something.
Yeah.
Like I
And
remember
then
it opened
it
up
would
to
turn
like,
into energy and go inside of a bigger Zoid and control it, I guess.
I,
I remember
I don't remember that
I
far.
remember-
I just remember like the dinosaur's body opening up and then like it would take in its friends and hide it
Yeah.
in its body and run away.
Right.
All I know is that there was still giant robot animal fighting, but it wasn't in like a cool tournament like
No,
idea.
it wasn't a sport. It was like they were doing it to live.
Yeah, it was survival.
Yeah, it was like war.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
I just liked it when Liger Zero got to put on the different armor types.
that was cool. That was the cool Panzer one where it was green. You felt
Yeah,
heavy.
that was the only name I remembered, Panzer.
I remember the other
I think they
ones.
only used it for like one episode.
Yeah, each one only. Well, some of them got multiple episodes.
No, the blue one
The
got
blue
more
one,
episodes for
yeah,
sure.
the blue
The one with
one,
the the extending katana
and
blades
that
on
was
its
the
back.
orange one with the orange yellowy one with the sword face.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
I remember, well, I always remember that guy as red, but it might have
yeah.
been
Was he
orange.
red? I think it was like orangey yellow. I think maybe.
But yeah, they used the blue one a lot because it was
Yeah,
speed, and
yeah,
I think they only used the green one once.
yeah.
But it was
Because
like the coolest one to me.
because it put too much like
Strain
stress
on the
strain
Liger.
on Liger. Yeah, because it was too heavy. He couldn't move, but he could
Oh
like
yeah, it
fire
was
a
too.
nuke
I
on
mean, like he did have
you.
like two like wave motion cannons on his back.
Yeah.
I think the only time they did use it was like from the back of their Zoid carrier. Like they
Hmm.
equipped it, and then he came out on a platform, and then they shot someone, and then they brought him back in.
It's funny.
I was like, damn, that one was so cool though.
Yeah. That anime was awesome.
Anime was awesome.
Yeah.
What game have you gotten into lately?
Lately, I guess I've been trying to play Baldur's Gate, but for some reason it's not working on my PC. I tried validating the files. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Is it like
It keeps freezing.
is it like a requirements issue?
I
Like
don't
is
know. I don't know. I don't think so because it ran the game before. I don't know if there's some update that's fucking with my system or what.
it might be. You should
But
definitely check with like the forums later.
yeah,
I
okay,
don't know
I'll
if
do
people
that.
still use forums, but you should definitely like Google it real quick
I will. Yeah, I've
and be all
been
like,
trying to.
Baldur's Gate keeps freezing. Why?
Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3
um,
for me keeps freezing every time I try to boot it up. It's like it's annoying. I've tried validating the files. Help me. If you know what my problem is, help me. Send me an email.
send him a comment, even if
Yeah.
it is the only comment you may send to the show. Help him with his Baldur's Gate issue.
Yeah.
Is it Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah. It's Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldy Gate 3.
Baldi's Gate. Balls on these gates. I
Oh,
tell you what, man.
look, man, I just want to do some adventuring.
When did D&D become so horny? That's what I want to know.
That is a good question. When did it become so hard? Remember when it was just like, okay, you entered a dungeon, you stepped on a tripwire, dodge or else you'll get crushed by a rock.
Yeah. Give me a dexterity saving throw, right now.
Yeah. Ooh, 4? You get hit with 6 arrows. What the hell?
And now it's like, everyone's so damn sexy.
Yeah. Everyone's just all like, oh, what is that?
I
What's that
kind of want
succubus up to?
I kind of want to lean into it a little bit with the sexy. I don't know. I think it's
Oh, with
fun.
everyone being all sexy?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think it's great.
I think it's okay too.
Considering
But I do
adults.
understand when it gets in the way a little bit.
Yeah, it gets in the way. It gets in the way of the story.
Just a little bit. Because it's
Uh,
just like, I mean, in Baldur's Gate, whatever.
yeah,
Like, I think the story still moves on,
yeah,
regardless of, like, everyone being sexy.
yeah,
But it definitely becomes okay, what are we doing here when it comes to, like, a tabletop situation? It's like, you
yeah.
guys are okay being sexy, but, like, you guys haven't done anything but be sexy. Like, the last 25 minutes.
There's only so many endurance like saving throws you can. Some
There's only
Constitution saving throws you gotta
Yeah,
make.
there's only so many Constitution saving throws you can make, man. I'm gonna have to start like affecting your HP directly.
Ah, man. I mean, I'm kind of okay with it. I guess I don't know. Let's see. What was that one game that I was really enjoying? Dragon's Crown.
Oh,
You know that one?
Mm-hmm. Dragon's Crown is cool.
They did not hold back when they were
No, no.
designing those characters.
I mean, the two female characters are incredibly sexy. And
Yeah,
then, like, the male characters are all huge. Oh,
yeah.
no, the three female characters, sorry.
I
But,
mean,
like, the
two of the
dwarf.
three were really, really sexy though.
Oh, no, yeah, yeah. They were incredibly
The
sexy.
Valkyrie and the Sorceress.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
Valkyrie or Berserker? I can't remember. Berserker, right? She's got like a Valkyrie motif about her though.
Barbarian, maybe?
Barbarian is a barbarian.
I forgot her class type, but
I see.
she's the big muscly one with like
Yeah,
the huge axe. I mean,
yeah,
there's definitely a Valkyrie motif with like the feathers, but that's like a
yeah.
headband, not so much a helmet.
Makes sense. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. They're
yeah,
great. I mean, I love that game.
I mean there is an equal parts of there's three women, three guys,
Right.
but like you know,
But the three
like
guys
the
aren't
paladin,
hypersexualized, but they are they
but
are
like the
hyper
paladin is like fuck
masculinized.
huge, yeah. No,
But they're
like
not
yeah, they're
like
hyper masculated. Like
yeah,
even
but
the
they're not
mage, the wizard on their group, like in the
they're
males
not
group,
horny
he's
though.
still. I mean, he's like an elf, right? So he's like incredibly handsome.
I guess, but he's not showing his ass. Is what I'm saying.
No, no. I think there is like a. I don't know if it. I don't remember the game very well, but I'm sure there was like a hot spring part. But like if you played as the dudes, like you got to see the paladin be all like hyper muscular and
I
like he had
see.
like a loincloth on.
They make you work for it a little bit more with the
Oh yeah, yeah.
guys. That's
But again,
funny.
I mean the game is incredibly cool though.
It's fun. It's a fun little game. I need to
It's
play
from
more of
the
it. I haven't played enough of it.
yeah, they're the same studio that ended up making was it I think Masamune,
That's cool.
um, the one where you switch between uh like a you switch between two warriors that have the katana Masamune I think.
Hmm.
um, but yeah, I like it because like of their art style when they made those side scrollers.
Hmm.
Like that is very pretty art. Their backgrounds are incredible in those games.
Yeah, they're really great. The artwork's amazing.
Yeah, like those games, like apart from the like, say what anybody will if they want to argue about the character design, but like their backgrounds, their fucking like food art,
That's really good.
that shit was it was like oh man, those meals that they're having are delicious.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know. I didn't know high fantasy taverns rolled like that. They
they
had
do,
like
man. They do.
7-star chefs out there making fucking food that glisten.
For real. I mean, I think the food's a big part of like Monster Hunter too, right? They have like
Yeah, yeah, that's true. The Monster Hunter also has incredible food art. And
yeah,
it's funny because it's like, oh, these guys are just dudes that are like culling the monster population because they get a little bit too horny out there and they make a little bit too many of themselves. So like you have to send out like the park ranger to deal with them. But like they're out there doing like over the fire roasts and then out comes like an incredible dish that looks very tasty.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
even though it's just like
It's like covered in
cartoon meat on
gravy and
bone.
shit. I'm so hungry, listener.
He's thinking about food a lot. I
Yeah,
mean, it
right
doesn't help
now.
on my end too because I'm smelling food being made.
Oh
So
man, do you
yeah,
want to
it
like?
smells delicious too.
Oh man, I'm
Uh,
excited for this meal. Anyway, um,
Speaking of FromSoft games, earlier
yeah.
I've started playing Sekiro,
Oh,
which is an
nice.
incredibly funny story because Sekiro came out like a while ago, right?
Yeah.
I told one of my friends, I was like, "Oh yeah, I haven't played Sekiro yet. Like, I heard it's incredibly cool and a very good game, but I just haven't gotten around to playing it." And they're like, "What the hell?" It was like, "You got to play it." So they like Steam gifted it to me, right? And I was like,
Wow.
"Oh, cool, thanks." And then I forgot about playing that game for like 3 years.
Do I have Sekiro?
And then it came up again. And they're
I
like,
might have
"Wait, you
Sekiro.
haven't played Sekiro yet?" I was like, "No." It's like you
No, I
gifted it
don't.
to me 3 years ago. Like like you gifted it to me and I never got around to it. And they're like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And then they checked and it's like it's been 3 years since they gifted that game to me. And then they're like, "Play it right now, you fuck." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I played a little bit of it. It's a very cool game. It's a
That's
very
cool.
good game. Like
Yeah.
like the systems in it are different from like the other FromSoft games.
Hmm.
There's no like formal leveling system like in the other games.
Oh.
It's all done through it's all done through like specific item pickups, right?
Oh.
So
Okay.
so if you wanted to increase your vitality, you would have to collect 4 prayer beads to create a uh to create a prayer necklace, which then increases your vitality.
Okay.
If you wanted to increase your strength, which I haven't gotten the item for that yet, but I think it's regaining your memories because like a big part of the story is that um you start off in a well after like establishing that you have like as a child you were picked up and trained to become a lethal shinobi. Um, but you pick up at the bottom of a well and you're downtrodden and things have gone south for you and your clan and the master that you served. And you find out that you don't have any recollection of like the last 3 years. So um, you you will pick up you'll get items and pick up items in the game. Um, like I think that are just mainly bells. You get your first bell item from an old lady, and when you offer it to Buddha, it unlocks a memory from 3 years ago, and you replay his past as his present self. Everyone will see him as his past self, but he is experiencing it in like a sort of astral body situation as his present self. And you play through those memories, and as you get to the end of those specific memories, which are like entirely different levels, um, you'll gain your strength back. So you're only strong as like as you are in terms of like remembering yourself.
Interesting.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
That's cool.
Um, and as I played through that game, I realized that a lot of elements that shows up in Elden Ring and a lot of concepts that like some other people use uh, stemmed from that game, and I'm like, very cool.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. This was the missing piece, and like, oh, that's where that came from. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
very
man.
cool game.
Very cool.
Very interesting controls because it's
Another
like the
game I
first time
need
you
to
could jump.
finish that I started was Sifu.
Sifu? Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty cool. I like the story. It's really I mean I love old kung fu movies and stuff like
Mhm.
that, so it's pretty dope. I really like it. I like the art style for it too. I think it's a
Yeah.
really pretty looking game.
Sifu is really cool in
Yeah.
that it captures like old Hong Kong martial arts films really well.
In a weird way, it kind of reminds me of Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Jackie Chan video game. What was it?
Oh
Remember
shoot,
the Jackie Chan video game on PlayStation?
the one where it was like more realistic.
No, it was not realistic at all. It was more
I mean like
cartoony.
in you mean based off the cartoon.
No, it wasn't based off the cartoon. It was like it wasn't based off anything. It was just Jackie Chan, the video game.
No,
Jackie
yeah, I remember
Chan.
that one. I meant like realistic as in like it looked like him rather than look like his cartoon version.
No, it looked well. Here, let me send it to you.
I'm trying
This
to
is it.
I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to remember what it looks like.
Stunt Master. That was
That
the name of the
one.
game. Yeah.
The one where he like
The one
Does
where
a
he's
lot.
like
I
all
think it's like,
boxy and it's like his
yeah.
face
Oh,
superimposed on the on the
I don't even know if you
Jackie
sent it.
Chan Stuntmaster PlayStation game.
Stunt Muster. Let me search it. Let me search it up. Stunt Meester.
It was cartoonish, but it wasn't based off the cartoon.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember.
I rented this for Blockbuster as a kid and played the hell out of it.
The the proportions of his hands are very funny.
Yeah. I know, right?
As I yeah, no, I remember this game.
Yeah, I remember playing this game. When did this game come out?
It looks so funny. I
It came out in
gotta
2000. I was 10.
holy
I was
moly.
10 years old playing Jackie Chan Stuntmaster. Yeah.
God. It's been so long, hasn't it?
It's been a while. It's been a while. Oh man.
Dear God, I forgot how much I hate YouTube ads.
Oh man. I'm so glad I have YouTube Premium.
Oh, it looks so bad. It looks so bad.
The
I
game?
skipped I skipped like 3 minutes into this video and
Yeah.
like he's eating food with chopsticks and his fingers aren't even like
I know. His hands are blocks.
it's crazy. He's fighting a clown now?
Yeah. There's a cloud in the game, yeah.
This is this is so funny
It's so
because
great.
it looks so bad.
I think
But it like it looks fun though.
it does. It looks like I want to play it again.
What's crazy is that like knowing a little bit more about how games are made,
Yeah.
seeing how his face is made in this game is very funny
Yeah. Well,
because
they
like
clearly just
they modeled a head with like his hair modeled and his nose modeled, and
yeah.
all they did was that they took a ton of pictures of like Jackie Chan for a day where he's making different expressions, and then they just put that texture on top of the face.
Yeah, that's clearly what they did, yeah.
It's very funny.
Yeah. When you get a chance, listener, look up Jackie Chan Stuntmaster Long Play on
Yeah.
YouTube and just if you want to have a good time.
Oh, it's a 3D beat 'em up. Oh.
Yeah, it's a 3D.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah, it's also a platformer too in some ways.
What's crazy is that it does still look kind of fun.
It does look like a fun game, right?
It looks like a fun game to kind of just like turn your brain off on.
Yeah, they need to bring this back. But I guess that's
They
just
do.
Sifu. Kind of.
I mean, you definitely got to finish up Sifu though,
I do. I need to finish Sifu.
because again, like watching that game is very cool.
Yeah.
Those guys also made what do you call it? They also made
What
I'm
was
trying to
that game?
remember the name right now
It was like a
because
sci-fi fighting game.
not so much like I'd say more fantasy.
It was like a
Um,
fantasy game,
what's it called? It
fantasy fighting
was
game.
hold on, God, because like
Yeah, let me look up Sifu
the,
real
the
quick.
the name of it is like a word that you use to absolver. That's what it's called.
Absolver, that was it.
Absolver. They also made that game, and that game was also cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the concepts in Absolver definitely show up in Sifu, but Sifu is a lot like a more streamlined version of like their combat system.
Mm.
I would even say streamlined. I feel like that's an inappropriate way of saying it. Like it
Like
definitely took the
it's not
elements.
simplified.
Not even
Like
yeah,
they
because
didn't
like
simplify it,
it's
right?
different. It's
Yeah.
different in its execution, but like a lot of the thing that they took from it was like the animation that they applied to Absolver, and they brought it to Sifu, and like they definitely used everything that they learned from that game to make that game look incredibly beautiful.
Right.
Because Sifu is a very very pretty game,
Yeah.
and the animations of like the martial arts that you perform in that game are also very cool.
Yeah.
Um, but it definitely has a lot of its roots in what they've done for Absolver, which is it is it's also a martial arts game, right?
Right.
But the way that you fight is you can take different stances, which will then give you access to like different moves in your deck of cards. Because it's kind of like a deck building game as well. Like not it's
Oh.
yeah, like the deck building part isn't like most roguelikes or anything like that, right?
What
Like you definitely attain new moves in the form of cards
I see.
um, from completing parts of the game and defeating different types of enemies.
I see.
And then you assign those moves into your sort of deck.
I
You
see.
assign those moves in there, and then you assign them to a stance, right?
Hmm.
And then you can change those stances with your right stick while you're locked on. So when you're fighting someone, you can be in the top left stance, and you can execute like a roundhouse or quick jabs or something like that. And then if you want to link it to a move in a low stance, you swing the stick down to the bottom right, and then you'll take a different stance that has a different set of power moves associated with it.
I see.
So, yeah, it's very interesting um, how that game plays, because
That's
like
cool.
you're thinking about it brings in about a lot of like a lot of mental to the game, because you're just like I have to think about my current positioning, what my enemy's doing, what kind of moves they have in their deck, and then I have to think about what combo paths that I want to take
Hmm.
with my own style, right? It
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
very cool way of like customizing your own combat style, which I feel like is kind of like a dream for like being a martial artist, right?
Right. Right. That's cool.
It
Oh
is very
man.
cool.
Oh man. Oh man. I guess we can close this one out.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
hunger has taken over.
Hunger's taken over. It's been fun though. We'll do this again. I think John's gonna be gone for a couple
For a while.
episodes.
Okay.
But me and Ryan will be here.
How you doing?
So yeah. But thank you for listening, listener.
Yeah. I hope you
We'll
continue
do,
listening.
yeah, please continue listening. I need it so bad.
You need it so bad.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh man. But we'll see y'all next time. Thank you, Jesse Sanders, for making our music. Um, buy us a coffee if you can, if you want. Check out our Redbubble. Send us an email. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Ask us questions
Leave a
if
comment.
you want. Comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye bye.